Whoa, what's up to all my solid steppers, man? We got a fire show here for you today, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like and comment, share this, man. Y'all tune in. We got Jay Hardcore from Hardcore Boxing News. We got my agent, Christopher, on here, and we have the legendary Isaac Knapper, man. So let's get it cracking, baby. How you doing now?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing great. Just trying to stay busy and stay strong and stay healthy.
Yeah, man, alive and free, brother. It's good to see you alive and free, man.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's right.
so let's take it from the top, man. What transpired with your situation that led you to Angola?
Oh man, it was like, in fact, I'm gonna start from 9 years old when I started boxing. Percy Black Cobra Pugh was my trainer. I had to. I made it to the. I was two-time Golden Glove champion, three-time Silver Glove champion. I was 19-0 when a crime occurred, and I was set up. So I was training for the Junior Olympics at the time, at age of 15. Upon turning 16 on my birthday, cops come to the house, put guns to my head while I was in the bed, sleep, bogarted their way in when my mom opened the door. Right? Said that my mom said, "What's going on?" They said, "Well, we're bringing him down for murder." My mama said, "Murder? Y'all must have the wrong person." I said, "No, is this Isaac Knapper?" My mom said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, we have the right one." They took me to jail, bro, and charged me, accused me of killing a doctor. Dr. Ronald Banks, his name is, and tried me as an adult at 16 years old and found me guilty for first degree murder, which we know carries the death sentence. In fact, that's what I was
Right.
sentenced to when I first got found guilty. And they came back, they had to take the death sentence off me because of my age. They can trial me as an adult, but they couldn't give me the capital punishment.
Right.
So they dropped it down. They kept it at first degree murder, but they dropped it down to natural life without parole instead of the death sentence. And
So let me ask you something, bro. How did that feel being 16 years old, sentenced to death row?
man, it was like a nightmare. And I guess in being young, that at that age, my mind wasn't fully developed, to the extent to really understand exactly what was going on. Uh, I mean, I had common sense, but when they found me guilty, because I was under the impression that they was gonna throw this case out and find me innocent. Because my
Right.
mom was worried to death, and I would always tell her, I said, "Look, mom, don't worry. They're gonna find out I'm innocent. I mean,
Right.
these people,
Right.
they judges. They went to school for this here. They professionals. They judges,
Right.
lawyers, district
You
attorneys.
had you had
They go,
confidence in the system. You know you
yeah, I
went.
had
Like,
confidence
oh
in
man, they
the
go find out. Yeah.
right. So I'm trying to, keep my mom calm and everything. And man, well, but was I wrong? I
Mhm.
mean, guys was telling me that was on a tier with me because they put me on a tier with the adults. And a lot of these guys had been through these kind of things before. So they would tell me, say, man, look, I mean, I understand you saying you're innocent, but if these people want you, they don't care about you being innocent. If they want you, they'll get you. I said, well, why would they want to get me? I mean, I'm nobody. I'm just a little black kid out the projects. He said, well, if they want you, they want to clean the records up, they'll get you. And I didn't believe none of that stuff I was hearing from other guys. I figure they they going through some of the same situations. They don't know what's going on. But when they found me guilty and said first degree murder, that's when reality started setting in.
Yeah.
And I started
So,
looking back at these other guys, man, saying, damn,
dang.
they knew what they
And let
was
me
talking.
ask you this. So tell the people, so the people that don't know, tell them where you from, man.
Yeah, I'm from out the Melpomene Housing Project. Uh, if you probably heard of that, Melpomene Housing Project, right, 2 blocks from the Callio Project, where Master P and all of them from.
That's
And
the third ward, fellas.
yeah, Third Ward, and maybe about 3 blocks from where Baby and Lil Wayne them from, out the Magnolia Project. So it's 3 projects, all of us in the Third Ward. It's a same little circle,
Mm.
and that's where I was born and raised. and went through a lot as a kid. My life got derailed at a young age going to reform school, a place they call Scotland. I was sentenced to Scotland first as a juvenile, and that's one of the things that Detective John Dillman, who was a part of this case of setting me up on that murder, that was part of the reason he did some of the things he did toward me, because my background going to reform school, he tried to make it seem like I was a troubled kid. I killed many people. They just couldn't catch me. And, he scandalized my name so bad. And especially, in fact, right now, as we speak, that guy, everybody is deceased now, but him, and he's a book novelist. But he's still right now today scandalizing my name, even after all this here. It done proved that I was an innocent man. I was wrongly convicted, and this guy is still calling out there to Boston and New York to the victims of Dr. Ronald Banks, to his family, telling his family that I don't understand why y'all wrote a book with this guy. He killed your father. And so
you might have a defamation suit on that clown, bro.
yeah, and so that's what Amy, Dr. Amy, which is the doctor's daughter, Dr. Amy, he sent her along about a 17-page letter explaining to her that I'm the man that killed her father. And so she wrote him a letter back and told him that if you write me another letter, I'm gonna file for harassment, because Isaac is my friend. I don't appreciate what you're saying about him. It was proven that he didn't kill my father, and I appreciate if y'all stop calling me, sending me letters, about this man. And Amy went far as to tell him, look, I love this man. I love Isaac. Isaac is like a brother to me, but this guy refused to give up. I even offered to meet him in person where I can see him face to face.
Right.
He don't want to meet me. He seen me when I was
that's what cowards do. Yeah.
He faced me when I was a juvenile, when I was going to trial. And I hadn't seen him since that. That's been since 1979, beginning of 79. And but I want him to see me right now, who I am right now, the man that I am right now. And I want him to face me. But he refused to face me. But he constantly scandalizing my name and still saying all these things. But he refused to meet me. He don't want to meet me.
Yeah. Well, let me so backtrack a little bit when you said Scotland, just so the people could know. Scotland was considered the baby Angola for juveniles, man.
Right.
For kids, bro. It was a real rough environment, man. You had to be about your business, man, to survive that place as a kid, as a juvenile. It's called baby Angola. But also let's take it back a little bit more. So tell the people, how did you connect with the victim's daughter? How did y'all wind up writing a book together?
What happened was I was in federal penitentiary at the time, and when they tried to reopen the case, it was before they met me, and they seen where my case had got exonerated, and so they tried to get in touch with these politicians and the district attorneys over in Louisiana to reopen the case. And I came home after 17 and a half years I spent in the federal penitentiary. When I come home, Amy reached out to Lori White, which is judge. I'm gonna cut this phone off. Lori.
Yeah. She was my appellate lawyer, Laura White.
Yeah. She's a Lori White. She's a real good friend of mine. She just retired recently from out of office. Now she's just enjoying her life in Mexico. Anyway, Dr. Amy and her sister Nancy, she's a doctor as well. They reached out to Lori to get in touch with me. So, because they know Lori was the one that defended me and filed my appeals and everything, my motions. And so Lori called me on the phone. She said, Isaac, the lady, Dr. Amy Banks, the guy, Ronald Banks, who you was accused of murdering, his daughter, she wants to meet you. And I was like, want to meet me? And it caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And she said, you don't have to answer this right now. Just take your time. Wait a week. Wait 2 weeks. Wait 3 weeks. Whenever you decide, whatever you decide, just let me know, and I'll send her an email or a call and let her know. I said, no, I thought about it already. She said, no, take it. I said, no, I thought about it. I said, I don't mind meeting her. I said, if it would help any, it may bring some kind of healing toward their family as well. I said, I don't mind meeting the
Yeah.
family. And in fact, I wanted to meet her younger sister, Nancy, because Nancy, I had read about her in the paper when I was in prison serving that life sentence uh, for the murder of Dr. Ronald Banks. I read about his younger daughter, Nancy Banks, was 8 years old. And I used to think about her a lot. I said, man, that little girl could be going through. She's 8 years old and lost her father, And so I figured this would be the opportunity because Lori told me that it was Nancy and Amy that was coming down to meet me if I agreed to it. So I agreed to it, and about I want to say maybe the next week they scheduled a flight to fly down. Amy was coming from Boston and Nancy was coming from New York, and they flew down and met me in Lori's judge chambers. So Lori called me. Me and my wife went over to the courtroom and walked in there. That they were sitting there, and when I looked at them, they looked at me, and Lori introduced us and everything. And so, I sit down and we started talking. They started talking, telling me what their family went through in the process of losing their father. And so they wanted to know, it kind of had an idea, but these people that, when you talk to people that never been incarcerated or never even been affiliated with someone that's been incarcerated, they got a whole different outlook. They got a whole different look on how these type situations.
Right.
So I kind of like I sat there and I started telling them what I went through in prison uh, as a juvenile and what my family went through with my mom. My mom passed out, almost had a nervous breakdown in court when they said guilty. My sister started screaming in trial. And I realized right off, I realized that I was railroaded by my attorney because it wasn't Laura White that was handling. She got on it afterwards because she wasn't even lawyer at this time when it first happened. And this lawyer, I realized that he was actually working for them. He didn't say anything. When they said guilty, he didn't even look at me. He went straight over to the victim's family and
Mm-hmm.
embraced them and asked them, was they satisfied?
And
He
Wow.
he's
never
supposed
said,
to,
Mm.
and he's
yeah,
supposed to be defending you,
yeah,
representing
he's
you.
supposed to be defending me. He never said a word to me, never come see me after that. He didn't file an appeal.
You
He
said he
didn't
was
go
a
see my
paid attorney or
parents.
court appointed attorney.
No, my mom had hired him. Yeah,
Wow.
but he wound up selling out. He sold out, but he never come visit me. He never come discuss the case with me or anything. I didn't meet him until trial day. That was my
What?
first time seeing him. Yeah, I didn't even meet him till trial day, till it was time to go to trial. And in fact, they didn't even let me dress out for trial. They'll let you put a suit on or whatever. Your
Right.
family brings clothes.
You
I
mean to
had
tell
on
me
prison clothes.
you had on
Yeah,
prison clothes during
I
your
had on
trial,
prison
bro?
going to trial with prison
Oh
clothes
Lord,
on.
that was too.
Yeah,
They call that prejudicial like
yeah,
a mud, man. You supposed to.
yeah.
That's the purpose of putting on a free world outside attire, so you don't
Right,
have the appearance of guilty. That's why they don't shackle you up or anything
right,
to show
exactly.
no type of prejudice.
Yeah,
because that'll prejudice the jury's mind. So that's
and
why you supposed to be. That was the new trial era right there.
yeah, and you know what you just said? That's why they don't shackle you. I had on prison clothes. I had handcuffs on
What?
and shackles on while I was in
That's
trial. I'm
crazy.
sitting in
That's
trial with
wild.
shackles on, handcuffs in the front with the chain around my waist. That's how I went through trial. And my trial didn't last but a few hours. Normally a trial like Dr. Banks, she talks about it all the time because she read the whole transcript, she read everything, and so she talks about it every time we go give these speaking engagements and stuff about the book. How they trialed me in one day. Normally a trial would last a week or two, maybe 3 weeks. Look how long OJ trial lasted. My trial didn't last 24 hours. My trial was, they found me, they did everything in one day. Found me guilty, sentenced me to death. They did
And
all that in a matter of hours.
so hold up, wait.
He been railroad.
This man was
Yeah,
16 years old, falsely accused of murder. They took him to trial with prison clothes on. Took him to trial with prison clothes on. Had him shackled, prejudicial towards the jury.
right.
Convicted him and sentenced him to death all in the same day.
Did everything in
Wow.
one day.
That was egregious like a mother. So what issues did
Yeah.
you use to give it back to come back on?
So,
Because I know
so,
that had to be included.
so what happened, and to be honest with you, I had given up. I had given up. I figured I was going to die in Angola because we know Angola is the bloodiest penitentiary in America. I was watching guys get killed regular. In fact, I had two good friends. Both of them lost their life in prison. And we sit down, and we was just talking about this the other day. We sit down on the rec yard, bro. And me and these friends of mine was discussing something. We was just talking, and out of nowhere, one of my friends he said, bro, which one of us gonna get killed first in this penitentiary?
Wow.
And everybody got quiet, but all the eyes looked at me. And when they looked at me, I said, okay, y'all right. I'll get killed first. I said, but I'm gonna make it to be 19 years old before I get killed. And that's the kind of mindset that we was in.
Yeah, but what yard y'all was on?
We was on the big yard. I was at the time I was in
On the
Hickory
wild
Fort.
side. On the wild side.
Yeah. So I'm in Hickory Fort, and we sitting down on the rec outside. And so they looked at me, and I said, okay, y'all right. I'll be first. I said, but I'm gonna make it to be 19 years old before I get killed in this penitentiary. And so my other partner, he said, you know what? I'm gonna be older than all y'all, but I'm gonna make it to be at least about 28. And that's the kind of mindset we was in, bro. And because we was watching this here, and then we was kind of running wild at the time. They called us the young guns, and we was kind of, stayed on lockdown a lot, bro, because how rebellious, bro. Being rebellious. And I didn't want I had a complex to an extent. I had a complex because I knew that I was so young. And being like one of the youngest persons in that prison at that time, I had a complex about my age, being so young. So I wanted to kill somebody so bad because I was accused of murder. And so I said, I may as well catch me a body. They're not going to ever let me go home. After a while, what made me started thinking about my freedom more in that I have a chance of being free was when my brother came there for killing a guy that was my cellie. Guy went home and I gave him my brother's address so my brother could help him get a job at the World's Fair. And he wound up breaking in my brother's house. My brother shot him 9 times. So my brother wound up coming to Angola with life. All right. And so
that's crazy. So dude you sent to your brother to help the dude wind up. Damn, that's crazy.
He had got on drugs. And my brother was visiting me. My brother said, man, the way the neighbor described this dude, it sounds like your boy, bro, that broke in my house. And I said, oh no, bro, he wouldn't do nothing like that. He was clean cut type dude. I said, no, T-Fat wouldn't do nothing like that. And while my brother visited me, telling me, he said, bro, if he did, he said, I'm gonna let it go. But if he do it again, he break in my house, bro, I'm gonna kill him. And you know how we call home to make sure family that made it home safe when they leave, because that snake road was kind of dangerous at the time. Yeah. So I called home after my visit with him just to make sure he made it home safe. When I called home, my sister said he just killed T-Fat. I said, what? I said, he just left from visiting me. Said T-Fat broke in his house while he was visiting you.
While he was visiting. Boy.
Yeah. Again, bro. And so
that's so telling people about that Snake Road, man, at least that 20-mile road, huh, bro?
Yeah, man, it's actually 24 miles, bro.
24?
This when you go on a visit at Angola, when you turn off the main road, and you make that left or that right to it all depends on which way you're coming from, and you turn to go to Angola. You got about maybe 24 more miles now. It is a snake road. It goes like that, and it goes all the way to the gate. You know,
And they had
and,
signs. You could see signs that it said sliding area. I mean, bricks and shit,
right,
boulders could just roll down on you.
right.
Family members then got killed in car accidents trying
That,
to come up there and visit us, man.
that's right, and that's the reason why they blacktopped it now, because it used to be dirt, and especially when it
Yeah.
rained, that dirt turns into mud and it be slippery, you know, and so it was real dangerous on that snake road. You had to drive real slow for 24
Yeah.
miles to get to the gate, you know,
Cause we used to I remember going visit my brothers, man. Before I wound up in there. So
yeah.
tell them about what your where they put you at when you first got there, man. What that process was like when you first hit Angola.
When I first got there, I like I said, I had prepared myself to die because I had heard all these stories about Angola. And you know, when you're in the Paris waiting to go, you're
Right.
gonna hear a whole lot of stories, and you're
Oh,
hearing from
man.
other guys that's on their way back again that have been there before.
And
So
just
you
to, just
listen
to add something right quick to what you said,
to
bro, because you said something earlier about the mentality about when you was like, man, I'm gonna kill one of these. Like that was
right,
the attitude I had, bro. I
yeah,
was telling
yeah,
when J Hardcore interviewed me, that's what I would tell, bro. I had
yeah,
my attitude was I'm gonna kill one of these. You had to
right,
have that
right.
attitude, man.
Yeah, you got to
Go
have
ahead.
that attitude, and
Yeah.
you got to be ready for anything, because somebody gonna try you. You know, I mean, that's just the reality of it. Somebody, one of these dudes, one of these vultures, they gonna try you. You just got to be prepared. You know, and you got to be ready whenever they do come, because somebody gonna come. But I was in a state of mind to where I didn't want to give them a chance to come try me. I wanted to go try them. You know, I wanted to go try them first. I said, I'm gonna catch me, and that's how I wound up catching another case. You know, because I was complexed and I wanted to show them that I ain't to be fucked with. You know, so yeah, so I was willing to do whatever it take. You know, and I wanted to get a reputation early. You know, so I won't have these problems. You know,
Yep.
and even once you get a reputation, and these dudes find out who you are and find out you ain't to be played with, you know, you still may run into some little rough edges in there. And
Cause
but
not
you
because now
still
they want to challenge you to try to get a reputation of your name.
right,
You
exactly,
know?
exactly. So it's always some kind of little battle gonna take place. It's that you just got to prepare yourself and be ready, you know. And I
Yep.
was like, so what happened, you know, Solid E asked me when I first got there. When I first got there, they sent me to A Block, Line 7. A Block, Line 7 was one of the most treacherous areas in there at
Yep.
that time. You had people like Mose Murray, or Montana Slim, Jerome Riley, all these guys, Bobby Hott, all these,
Dago.
all these dudes was in A Block at the time. So they sent me to A Block, and it was like it was 11 of us. I made 11. It was 11 of us that they sent to A Block. And when we got there, bro, it was like something in the Roman times. You know, I mean, you know how A Block looked. It looked so rough. And I'm looking around and I'm saying, damn. And it looked like, you know, it looked unsanitized. It don't even look like it's fit, you know, for humanity. Man, it was so rats, roaches, all kind of stuff in the cells. You know, A Block was so it looked condemned. And you know, it was so A Block was so old, they didn't even have lights in the cell. They had lights on the hall, you know. Yeah. And man, they put me in a cell with a guy that was mentally incompetent. He was Jasper Well, his name was. And he was real huge, but all he would do is talk to himself. He'll lay in the bed and just go to talking, and he'll go to mumming and making all kind of crazy sound. But when they put me in that cell, no one was in there at the time because Jasper was at work. And they was, you know, and so a guy, Booger Lee comes to my cell, and Booger Lee
Yeah.
said, Ray, he said, brother, they put you in that cell. He said, but you sell it? He said, bro, he crazy. Can't nobody live with him. Say, you might want to try and get out that cell and catch you another cell, you know. But like I said, I didn't believe in checking out or running or nothing like that. I said, well, no, I'm
That's what
staying
they
here.
call it. They call it checking out the cell.
Right. Yeah. So I said, I'm gonna stay here, bro. I said, I'm gonna deal with this here. I said, I understand what you're saying. He crazy. I hadn't met him yet because he hadn't came in the cell. And I'm in the cell and Booger Lee was on the hall. So Booger Lee was talking to me and telling me about him. I said, well, bro, I don't really care to hear about him. I'll meet him when he come in here, So but I didn't know he was that far gone. I thought at least I can talk to him. You couldn't even talk to this dude.
Wow.
And man, he come in the cell, and first thing he done is jump straight in the top bunk. It's 2 men to a cell, and he jumps in the top bunk, and he just throwed the blanket over his head. Ain't say nothing like I wasn't even there. Threw the blanket over his head, and he started talking. Motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you. Motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you. Motherfucker, I don't know why you let him put you in this cell. He was talking, and so I'm looking at him. I'm saying, damn, he got the blanket over his head, and so I'm thinking about what Booger Lee said. I said, Booger Lee said, can't nobody live there with him, And then he on that don't pay no mind list. They got a list in Angola, like if you got some kind of mental defect or you paranoid or anything like that, they'll have you on a don't pay no mind list. That means if me and him get into it, they're gonna lock me up. Ain't nothing they can do to him because he on a don't pay no mind list. Even if he killed me, they're gonna send him to the hospital, put him on lockdown, but they're not gonna do him nothing because he on that list, So I'm like fighting a losing battle against him. But anyway, it was one of those situations to where I couldn't handle being in the cell with him, just like the rest of the people couldn't handle being in the cell with him. So what happened? I just went for it. I jumped on him, and we started fighting in the cell. And he was mostly trying to, he was hot. He was much bigger than me, but he was hollering, and I wasn't even hitting him. He went to hollering and screaming in the cell. Because he messed up. And so and they finally come rack the cell back, got us out the cell. They locked me up, just like they said it would happen. And they put him back in the cell by himself. They didn't lock him up. So they stopped giving him a cellie. He stopped getting a cellie. They made him stay in the cell by himself after that. But what I want to say about these 11 guys, bro, that these 10 guys that went to A Block with me, and to give you a prime example how Angola was with these vultures and everything, bro. I wind up going on lockdown. I wind up going to jail. All right. Hit a guy in the head with a shovel. All right. I went to Camp J. I stayed at J about 18 months. When I came back, when I made the board from J, because in fact, Major Till was at Camp A. He came to visit me at J, and they wanted somebody to beat Lionel Russell boxing. So he had heard about my boxing skills. And he told me, I'll send you to my camp. I'll get you off lockdown. I said, no, I don't want you to get me off lockdown. I'm not, get the fuck from myself. Yeah. So, and I wound up going before the board. And when I made the board, they sent me back to A Block. When I got there, the other 10 people that went there with me, every last one of them had got turned out.
Damn.
And tell them what turnout mean, man.
Turnout mean they got raped. They got raped and they gave up. They didn't fight. In fact, when I got there and when I seen the first two, they was brothers. I used to call them Heckle and Jekyll because they was twins. And when I seen one of them, when I seen him, he had his eyebrows arched and he had a bandana around his head. He had some shorts on, some Daisy Dukes. And I looked at him. I said, Heckle? I said, what the fuck happened? What's happening? And he told me, he said, we was only being a man while you was here. I said, really? All of us supposed to be your hoes. I said, oh, no. Not. And I was so mad, bro, because I was upset about it, because I was against it. And it was like, how y'all let that happen? And I asked him about his brother. And he said, that's not my brother no more. That's my sister. And we got the same old man. And so it was like, man, it was disgusting. It turned my stomach to listen to him. And then I seen Cooley come by. When Cooley came by, same thing. Eyebrows arched. I said, you too? And man, look, it upset me so bad. They wasn't even allowed to talk to me. Cooley told me, "I'm not allowed to talk to you. You know, my old man don't want to say you bad. You bad company. They don't want us talking to you." Because I didn't want them to be. I didn't want them to be no hoes. Yeah, so they wasn't supposed to talk to me.
And that was because y'all was on that same bus ride together to Angola, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it was. I had developed a camaraderie with one of Boosie's partners, bro. Little young dude. He was 15, I was 16 from Baton Rouge. The young red dude, green eyes, and you had another dude from uptown, from out the third wall. We had the same first name. So I told him while we on that bus, when we pull up, bro, you did. It's hot as a month, middle of the summertime. It's hot, it's sweating. You know how they got a shackle on that bus.
Right.
Got that heavy ass, hot ass wool jumpsuit on.
Yeah.
Shackled from head to toe. And
Right.
so I told her, I said, bro, I said, don't let that name down, homie. He said,
Right.
shit, I ain't gonna let that name down me.
Yeah.
You heard me? You know, so man, you know, you build that kind of camaraderie with dudes when you first, you know, if y'all get off that bus together and y'all got to do that time together, and all y'all got life sentences, all y'all young,
right?
You know, so you build that camaraderie, so you don't want to see nothing like that happen to somebody that you came up there with, because it's like, damn, and that's how it was. Like about the 5-6 youngsters that I went up there with, you know what I'm saying? Only 2 of us stood tall, 10 toes down, you know.
Right.
But let me turn it over to Jay Hardcore, man. He got some things he want to talk to you about, man, when you went to the feds and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, first of all, I still want to find out, how was you exonerated for that?
Well, I got out on that Brady versus Maryland with that withholding exculpatory materials. Yeah, with them withholding evidence that would have if it wouldn't have the outcome would have been different for sure.
If it was presented at trial, if the jury
would have been presented, they withheld that exculpatory materials, meaning that the prosecutors, they had evidence that they didn't present to my defense attorney.
And that evidence could have proved that he didn't commit that crime.
Yeah. And now remember, I said that I found out later that my attorney actually sold me out on purpose. All right. So my attorney played a part in not even asking for that evidence, because it would have helped me. My attorney wasn't in my best interest. He just was taking a few dollars from my mom, you know, that didn't have it, and was helping the victim's family get a conviction. You know, that's what he was doing.
But that's against the law, though, ain't it?
Yeah, that's why he gave the time back.
That's how I was able to give that life sentence back and get out, because it's against the law, it's against the Constitution, and they withheld that exculpatory materials, and they wasn't supposed to. They were supposed to present it. You know,
and telling people what exactly was the exculpatory evidence.
That's what I thought. It was about the gun, wasn't it?
It was about not just the gun. It was a few things. What happened was they had evidence showing that they had 3 more guys that was arrested for the same murder. They got out. They don't show how they got out or anything or what happened, but they got caught with the gun that the doctor was killed with. They got caught with the gun in that same area where the doctor was killed at. They got caught in that same area right there, robbing another tourist. And when they got caught, with the gun, the ballistics showed that the gun that they got caught with had 1 bullet missing out of it. And the bullet that was missing out of it was the bullet that they took out of Dr. Banks' head. Wow. That was the evidence that they held back and didn't show to my attorney. So we didn't have that to present in trial. We didn't have nothing. I had 12 witnesses, 12 eyewitnesses to prove where I were at the time when they said that crime was committed. It's like they disregarded all 12 of those witnesses, and they went off for 1 witness that was against me, and that was the guy who was telling on me, saying that I did it, said that I committed the murder, and that he said after I shot the man in the head, he said I turned the gun on him to shoot him in the head, but the gun jammed. And he said when the gun jammed, he broke out and ran.
I bet he got off too, didn't he?
They gave him 7 years. That was his plea agreement. But I found out years later that he was actually trying to save somebody else. His brother was one of those three that was part of that crime, and his brother, he actually took the stand on me, turned state evidence on me to take the heat off his brother. And he knew that they had offered him his freedom. So, in fact, it's a long story, bro. And it's kind of
So it's no perjury on him.
no perjury on he dead, but
okay.
but it was no perjury on him. But what happened is they lived in the Malfamine Project as well. They stayed right across the street. So my parents, my mother, she knew his mother. They had a little guy that I know, Ricky Garden, his name was. Ricky came to my mom when I got arrested and told my mom, I seen who committed that crime that, my mom called me Jerry. Everybody called me Jerry. So I seen who committed that crime and it wasn't Jerry. Say, I know who did it. And I want to see whatever law you got, I want to testify because I know who did that. And so my mom went across the street to tell Leroy, mom. Leroy is the one that turned state evidence on me now. He was locked up too. She went across the street to tell Leroy mom what Ricky just told her. And when she told that to Leroy mom, Leroy brother went over there and shot him in the chest, killed him to keep him from coming to court to testify that he knew it wasn't me.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what Jackie Williams is in Angola for now, for killing Leroy, for killing Ricky. He killed Ricky. Ricky fell in his brother's chest when Jackie shot him, to keep him from coming to court to testify for me. So it was a big thing about that case, man. And it had me so confused. And it was like, why? Why is this? Why is that? And I was like, man, I just couldn't put it together why things was happening the way it did. And especially when with all these witnesses that I had to prove where I were at the time, and then they just used Leroy. They used one witness. It took one witness to get me a life sentence and 12 witnesses that couldn't get me out.
That's crazy, huh, bro?
Yeah.
Only Louisiana, boy. I know it's bad all across America, but Louisiana, bro, that's one of the most racist, most ungodly states there is, man. The prison capital of the world, man.
Yeah, I understand that you all have like 15,000 prisons in Louisiana, some crazy number like that.
Well, actually, Angola is the biggest, but we have more incarceration in Louisiana than anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. And just in the state of Louisiana, it hold like 9,000. The county jail hold 9,000 inmates.
That's just the jail. Just one of the jails.
That's just one, because I know I looked up prison systems in Louisiana, and I seen a whole hell of a lot of them, man.
Yeah.
All right, so you end up in the feds. How did that happen?
What happened? I was fighting a lawsuit. I started back boxing when Lori and them won my case, and I got out. One of the first things she asked me, "What you planning on doing now?" And so, first thing, I know I was in shape from boxing because I had been holding a boxing title. I had over 300 and something boxing matches in Angola, and I lost one fight. And I came back, and the guy who beat me, I came back and I beat him 3 times. And so he wound up giving up, saying, "I can't beat you, man." So, and I held the title that long, and I've never lost but one fight in there. I had over 98 knockouts, but hold on,
what weight class was that?
Well, when I went there, I was actually weighing 142 pounds. And I wound up coming home with the heavyweight title. Picking up weight. I became a middleweight. I held the middleweight title. Then I held the light heavyweight title. Then I wasn't a heavyweight. I was weighing 178 pounds. And I couldn't get a fight. Guys was coming from other prisons to fight against us. But if I weigh in, guys that's in my weight, they won't even weigh in. So Coach Allen used to hide me in the back until everybody weigh in, and because once they match you up, then they got to fight. So if they see me, they won't weigh in. So they would hide me in the back. And so when we, after everybody weigh in, like my brother came one day, I was the only person to fight 4 people in one day in Angola at a boxing match. They hired me in the back, and my brother was training me at the time because I said, my brother had wound up coming out with a life sentence, and my brother was training me, and my brother came in the back. He said, "Big brother, you can come on out now. We got you some matches." I said, "What you mean, some matches?" He said, "Bro, don't worry about it. You gonna whoop all of them." I said, "All of who? What you talking about, bro?" He said, "Bro, he said that was the only way we was gonna get you a fight, bro. I had to agree to match you up against 4 people." I said, 4 people? I said, damn. I said, where that happens at? Why you match me? He said, "Man, don't worry about it. You gonna whoop all of them." He said, "Oh, and another thing I ain't tell you, they heavyweights." I said, "Heavyweights?" He said, "Yeah, I put your light heavyweight title up against the heavyweight title. So you're gonna fight the dude with the heavyweight title, and then if you beat him, then you got 3 more to fight." And I'm the only person that ever did that. I fought. That's how I became the heavyweight champion of Angola. And I wasn't a heavyweight yet. I was a light heavyweight. And so I won the heavyweight title. And them 4 heavyweights that I fought, I knocked all 4 of them out.
Wow. Now, did you and Black Rhino ever get it on, or?
We were supposed to. We were supposed to, bro. But his trainer, Mop Top, was training Black Rhino, Big E. And Mop Top used to train me before he went to DCI and started training Big E. And so when they wouldn't let me travel because I guess because of my attitude, I was, in my disciplinary record in Angola, they wouldn't let me travel. But when fighters come there, all the rest of the fighters from Angola would travel. They would go to DCI, they would go to hunts, they would go to all these different prisons for competition. But I couldn't go. Only time I can fight when the fighters come to Angola, So Big E, they came to Angola from DCI, and I was telling Big E, I said, "Man, why don't you just, fight Michael Blanson?" I said, I mean, if you beat Michael Blanson, bro, then I'll give you a shot. I said, "Man, you seem like a good fighter, and I don't want to discourage you, man." I said, "Because if you come up against me right now, you ain't gonna fight. You're gonna stop boxing. You gonna give up, man." I said, I want you to keep going, bro, because you look like you might have something with you, man." I said, "I don't want to destroy you like that, man." I said, "Fight Michael Blanson first." And Michael Blanson was a good fighter. So I figured if he fight Michael Blanson, if he beat Michael Blanson, then I'll give him a shot, But Mop Top kept telling him, said, "You're not ready for now." And so he got upset with Mop Top. So Mop Top, "Man, you my trainer, and you don't have confidence in me." Mop Top said, "I was his trainer too, and I know both of y'all, and you're not ready for him." So he went on and fought Michael Blanson, and he destroyed him. He almost killed Michael Blanson in that ring, but I wound up going on lockdown. I got in trouble and went on extended lockdown for a while, and that's what kind of
deterred it.
Yeah. So I didn't ever get a chance to fight E.
Wow. So when you was over in the feds, man, you was able. I would tell you back then, man. It was a lot of rappers coming through there. I love that New Orleans sound, man, and you knew Baby and all them, didn't you? Because I mean, that was same in the same.
Well, Baby and Lil Wayne, they used to work at my mama's restaurant. This was before the rapping thing. They was rapping, but they wasn't known. They didn't even have a car at this time. Yeah, they didn't have nothing. They was just going off of hoping that. And in fact, when I got out of Angola, my brother tried to get me to invest in Lil Wayne and Baby them. They wasn't even cash money then. They didn't even have a name.
They say no money.
No money. And my brother told me, he said, "Man," he said, "why don't you invest something?" And he said, "Them the dudes they're gonna blow up." But at the time I wasn't into rap, and I was like, "Oh man," I said, I'll listen to them. And they went on and shot a little something for me, and I listened to them, and I said, "Okay, y'all sound pretty good. I'm gonna holler at you." And I walked away. I told my brother, I said, "Man, they ain't going nowhere with that." And my brother said, "Bro, I'm telling you, you're wrong." And right after that, bro, they signed that damn contract with Universal Records, man. They got that
Wow.
big money. You know, I said, damn, they was. But I wasn't into rapping. It didn't really appeal to me at all, you know. Yeah, but they are, yeah, but I know them in Juvenile. Juvenile, that's my little cousin. So, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
he
you
ended up
know,
leaving them, man.
yeah,
I guess
yeah,
he didn't like what
yeah,
was going on over there or something.
yeah, he wound up leaving them. But you know, and Pete, Master
Mm,
P, you know, his brother is older, you know, but not see murder, you know, but Ramsey, you know, he
mm-hmm.
got killed right outside my store. You know, I had a
Mm-hmm.
liquor store right down Galvez, Third and Galvez,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, called One Stop Liquor, and his Ramsey used to come over all the time. So me and him used to kick it a lot, you know. But he got killed soon. He walked out my store, bro. Somebody they shot him down, like a drive by, killed Ramsey, but. And Peter at the time, they was staying right next door to my sister out in the Callio Project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they was all real young,
They
you
were
know. So
young, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
they didn't know.
baby's brother ended up in there with you though, right?
Oh, gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was in New York. We was in New York. In fact, we was in Pollock together. But when I made it to Pollock, because what happened was Beaumont. All right, Beaumont was the bloodiest prison in America at the
Mm-hmm.
time, the federal penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
And Beaumont, they shut Beaumont down because it was they couldn't they sent a couple of troubleshooter wardens. The troubleshooter wardens is a warden that they bring in there when the prison is out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened, they brought a troubleshooter warden, and the troubleshooter warden couldn't get the prison under control. It was still doing a lot of killing and stuff like that, stabbing. So they had to shut the prison down. And when they shut Beaumont down, they sent most of them. Pollock was new. They had just opened up Pollock.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we opened it up because it was fairly a new prison. No inmates wasn't there yet. So they started sending a lot of them from, since they shut Beaumont down, they started sending most of them to Pollock. So right after that, Pollock became the bloodiest prison in America. And so Gangsta was over there.
Mm-hmm.
And Gangsta wound up going, I think he made it to New York before me or right after me. I want to say he probably made it to New York. We went to Brooklyn, MDC Brooklyn, and my case manager, not my case manager, my counselor told me, said, you got a homeboy upstairs. And I said, who he is? And when he told me who he was,
Mm-hmm.
he said he wanna holler at you. So my counselor brought me up there to holler at him. And when I went up there to see him, he started telling me, he started saying, Ron, we call each other Ron. He said, Ron, I mean, you did things the right way, bro, when you got that life sentence off you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, bro, I don't know no other way to do it. I said, well, there's another way to do it. He said, yeah. He said, bro, I exhausted all my remedies. I can't put nothing else in code. I exhausted all my remedies. He said, the only way I get out of this place, bro, the only way he had life in 20. The only
Yeah.
way I get this life in 20 back, bro, I got to bust some heads, bro. He said, I'm telling you, I'm just being real. He said, because you're a real nigga. He said, so I'm going to keep it real with you. He said, and I'm going to let you make that decision at church if you want to fuck with me or not. He said, but I just wanted to tell you that, man. I told him, I said, each his own. I said, but that's you. You got to watch over your shoulders and shit, bro. I said, but I'm gonna stay downstairs where I'm at.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought he said that he only snitched on the people that was dead.
Yeah, that's not correct. That's not true.
Hmm.
See, and see, that was one of the reasons why, why he actually, he lived up to that gangster attitude, because he'll put that knife on you in a minute. He wasn't no
Mm-hmm.
coward. But you got to think about Sammy the Bull. Sammy the Bull wasn't no coward. Look, all the people, all the bodies he caught. Yeah, he
He didn't
wasn't no
want that
coward.
time though. He didn't want that
Yeah,
time though.
See,
he
my
couldn't
my
handle that
that,
time.
yeah, bro. That, and it's like that be the only thing that I don't really respect about people when they get in that game, get in that lifestyle, because you
Yeah.
know that there's consequences and repercussions.
Right.
From the
Don't be able to
beginning.
dish it out, but can't handle it when that pressure come back on you. When they
Right.
got their foot on your neck, how you go stand? You go break or you go stand 10 toes. And that's what I respect about people like you, myself, that
Yeah.
went through that type of fire, that pressure, bro.
Right.
And we didn't allow that life sentence or that death sentence, you know what I'm saying, to break us and make us and to be
Yeah.
somebody that the system wanted us to be, bro. We kept, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, even though we don't even condone that street shit no more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We know that's nonsense and foolishness, but at the same time, it's all about when you stand on something, you gotta have principles and morals, bro.
Yeah.
And so with so asking what you asked him again, Jayhawk, that's crazy, bro.
No, I'm just saying because I mean, we've been seeing them all over social media, and
Yeah.
his main thing said that only person I snitched on was somebody that was not here. But
Yeah.
you said he just said I gotta bust a few heads.
Say,
You
bro,
did?
it's public records. All right. It's public records. You can pull it up.
Wow.
You can pull it up. And see the thing about it, bro, is that, like I said, guys, he was into it with, they got all these different gangs. All right, in the feds. You dealing with the gangster disciples. You dealing with the vice lords. You dealing
Right.
with the Bloods, the Crips, the Velacos, the Mexican Mafia. You Texas Syndicans. You got all kind of gangs. All right, in the feds, and a lot of these gang members and stuff, bro. They loyal to each other. All right. If you get into it with one of them, you're into it with all of them. And
Yeah.
that's why the system, they actually want you to be a part of somebody when you come in there in the feds. If you tell them you run solo, they're gonna lock you up. They're not gonna let you walk the pound. All right. So the thing is, he laid down, they sell these little MP3 players in the feds that you can download some songs, put your headset on. You can, about 500 songs, and you buy them out the commissary.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with him, bro? He laid there and told on one of the vice lords. All right, they talked about some murders and shit together. And he told on some vice lords, bro. And so and he granted, the people even offered to change his identity. They offered to put him on protective custody. He refused all that. He said, I don't want no damn protective custody. He said, y'all ain't changing my identity. He said, motherfucker, come at me, they got to bring ass to get it. He said, I got to do what I got to do. So he had some nerves. I just wish he'd have had enough nerve to go on and just deal with his consequences, bro. But he felt like, he he didn't have nothing else he can go back on. Like he said, he exhausted all his remedies, and he couldn't put nothing else in court. And the only way he can get out, he got to bust some head. He said that's what he planned on doing if that's gonna get him his freedom. You know, and
So
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 that
so
that shit
what
about
about what's the MP3 for?
the MP3 is you could put download songs and listen
Yeah.
to music.
Okay.
Yeah,
What was
and
what was he doing with it though?
his MP3 was bugged.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you,
Damn.
you asked me, his MP3 was and he talked about
So that's when y'all was in the feds in New York?
yeah.
Yeah, because they had a few people that told me about that, a few people
Yeah,
had told me about it, and I just never, exposed it or anything, because even though like I didn't believe those dudes was lying, it just was like I didn't have I didn't know those brothers personally. I just didn't know if that was factual or not. So, but to
yeah,
hear that come from you, bro, and everybody in the city know who you is, bro, and how you stand
right.
on principles and morals, and you're not
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
just saying nothing just to say it.
yeah.
Um, yeah, bro, that's crazy, bro. How many you bust with that doing that?
I personally, I know one that talked about some murders that he committed, and that one he wound up getting a life sentence. Um,
Dang.
and but
Which is still alive, and he's still alive.
the guy with the life sentence,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's in penitentiary. Yeah, he's serving life. which he didn't have but like 4 years, but he wound up with a life sentence because he talked about the murders, you know.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird that he said that he told on dead people, because usually you don't
People,
get something from nothing.
they don't, if you come to them and tell them about somebody dead, they're gonna run you out their face. That ain't helping us.
Right.
That ain't helping us if he dead. You know, yeah, that's, I mean, common
Well,
sense.
that's what the guy that said about the Tupac cat. He said that these cats are all dead. You dig that actually put Tupac out, man, and he posted got that. I forgot what that's called. Yo, that,
Immunity.
no, not immunity. It's another thing they call it when whatever you say and everything, it won't be used against you. I know what you're saying was immunity, but I forgot it's a proffer. What is it?
The proper plea.
Yeah, proffer plea.
But let me tell you something. What was so disrespectful that I felt was so disrespectful in that prison, bro, was when most of your gangsters and killers, they love playing poker, right?
Yeah.
And so what the system did was they took the regular playing cards and they put Crime Stopper playing cards. So the only way to play cards, you got to use Crime Stopper playing cards, right? And on each one of these cards, the ace, the jack, the queen, all of them have a deceased individual, and they saying if you know what happened to this person, contact Crime Stoppers. Now, when you go use that phone in prison, there's a big old sign. It says, you could call this number for free. So dudes that get on his phone and act like they calling their family, talking to their family. Because I used to be like, damn, this dude don't have nobody visit him. He ain't getting no money. How is he on the phone all the time? You know what I'm saying? So that be raising red flags, But it tells you can use that phone to call directly to the Crime Stopper people and give up information about who they know that committed that body, And I felt like, and when I used to see these dudes playing with those cards, I'd be like, but how y'all even disrespect yourself by even buying you? Then they ain't selling it. They selling these Crime Stopper cards, and them dudes buying these Crime Stopper cards. I was like, I'll stop buying, and I bet you they'll go back to the original cards because they want to make that money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how could you disrespect yourself? You say you're a street dude, you say you this, and it's like, bro, I just see so many street dudes just disrespected. Like, it's pitiful to me, bro. That's why I say, bro, just be a man, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be men and stop trying to rep this gangster shit, bro, because that shit is outdated, bro. It's out bro. It's phony.
You know what, E? When I was going to trial at the time, they come talk to me, and the prosecutor talked to me and told me, said, look, we know that you didn't commit this crime. We know that Leroy Williams did this. But we don't have nothing on him. We need you to sign these papers. If you sign these papers stating that Leroy Williams committed this murder, you'll go home. Leroy will never see the streets again, because we know everything aims at him. We know he the one committed this murder. And I said, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I said,
why didn't you do it, though?
If you don't mind me asking. So
why didn't you do that?
Sorry,
this is Chris. I apologize, comrade. I was just asking you, like, if you were an athlete and you weren't necessarily into the street, what was wrong with you telling the truth? If that was the truth,
no, I wasn't gonna be telling the truth because I didn't know if Leroy did that or not.
Right.
And so I wasn't gonna lie on Leroy. And the way I was brought up. I'm from out the project. We was brought up not to tell. All right, and so. Even if I would have known Leroy did that, I still wouldn't have told on him, because that's how I was raised, not to snitch, not to tell. But the thing is, I didn't know if Leroy did that or not. And when he came to me and he told me, he said, we know Leroy did this. He said, but we need you. We need you to sign these papers right here. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not signing. They said, well, if you don't do it, we're going to get Leroy to do it against you. That's what they told me. I said, well, go get Leroy to do it against me. I said, because I'm not doing it against him. I'm not going to sell my soul to the devil, And so they went to Leroy, and Leroy did it. Leroy took the stand and did everything that they told me to do against him. They told him the same thing, and he did it against me. And that's how I got convicted.
And bro,
and even
it's
though the
go ahead,
same day, the same day of trial, a hour before trial, I still had the opportunity to do it. They came to me and said, "Now look, you still got a chance now." I said, "Because you're going to trial in about an hour. We know Leroy did it, but if you don't take, we got to get a conviction here. If you don't do it against Leroy, we're gonna get Leroy. Leroy done already agreed to do it against you." I said, "Well, let him do it against me. I'm not doing it against him."
And you see, it's so similar, bro. I mean, our cases are so similar because at 16 years old, they laid out 6 photographs before me, and they said just
Right,
pick any one of them, we'll let you go. But they older, you 16, you pick them, we'll let you go. So because my fortitude, my integrity wouldn't allow me to do that, they
right,
hated me. They was really mad at me at a 16-year-old kid for not lie ratting on somebody. And when I got to Angola and started working in that law library, bro,
right,
and I started working on dudes' cases, and I'm watching these dudes doing 20 years, 30 years, 40 years on life without parole sentences for something that they didn't do because somebody chose to do exactly what Isaac just said,
right.
man.
Yeah,
To just pick somebody, just lie on
yeah,
somebody, bro. Like, come on, man. What kind of principles and morals and integrity that is, man? You know, and then people bash people like me and Isaac because we say we
right,
stand on principle, like we not about to do that. So some people like, oh, that's stupid, man. I'll be quick to tell on
right,
somebody. I'll be quick, and you got all these people talking about, oh, but telling on the dead ain't right. No, I never heard nothing crazy like, man. If you telling, no matter if the person alive or dead. And then you got
right.
to remember the other ramifications about even if that's true, telling on the dead. Because I had people call me and was like, man, talk to Gangsta, man. Why he doing that, bro? Because he's saying my people did woo, and now they got people looking at them. Because
Yeah,
some people want revenge. They don't care if the dude dead or not. They killed your loved one. They killed their loved one. They want to kill. They want to hurt your loved one now.
right.
You know, and so it's just, man. That's why I say, bro, that the street. I mean, look at Charles the White. Look how he embarrassing all these dudes that say the game. Charles the White is supposed to be the rat. He's supposed to be the Uncle Time. He's supposed to be weak dude. But look how he embarrassing all these so-called gangsters. He got gangsters saying, "Oh, I ain't messing with Charles." Why? What you mean? When I went to prison, when I hit Angola, bro, that's where I got the majority of my respect from by challenging them, the system, not just I didn't pick and choose like, oh, if a black man disrespect me, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go juggle. I'm gonna put that yeah on. But if somebody with a badge walk up and he get to my count time, he disrespecting me, I'm gonna bow down, I'm gonna put my tail between my legs. No. If I'm gonna make these dudes respect me, I'm gonna make y'all respect me too.
That's
You
right.
see, I didn't have no picks and chooses, man. Then they had murdered my brother, so I hated them the most. You know what I'm saying? I let a black dude slide before I let them slide because it was real personal to me, man.
Right.
You know, so when I talk about not snitching, not ratting, and all that, that's not to glorify the streets. That's just to say that these are principles and morals that I was raised with. You
Right.
sent me to that penitentiary as a kid, and those were some of the principles and morals that I'm sticking with, man. You know what I'm saying? So don't fault me, fault the system for sending kids to the bloodiest prison in America like that. That's who you need to fault. Institutionalizing people, messing with people's head like that. You know, sometimes I can't even sleep. You
Right.
know, I
That's
wake
right.
up, it's like feeling like I can't breathe, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes I'll be like, damn, I'm really out here. You know, my agent got me in this nice hotel and shit like this. Man, I ain't never lived like this before.
Yeah.
You know? So this is a blessing, man. So that's why I say, bro, it's just, man, people don't realize, bro, when you go through that type of trauma, man,
Yeah.
thousands of days in prison, thousands of days. Me and that we did combined. We got what? How many? I did 25. How many you did now?
Altogether 32.
32.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But like Solid he said, I I done had nightmares, bro. I've been because of the trauma, and we part of a peer support group with formal incarceration. We got like over 200-300 guys, bro, be showing up at the picnic that we have, once a year. But we meet up at our meets. I'm part of a peer support group, and all of us formerly incarcerated. So we meets up twice a month over by Norris Henderson building.
And not to
And
cut you off, hold that thought. And that's what I want the people to know, that I've been deprived of that because they made me leave the state. So
Right.
all this work that me, Isaac, all the brothers that he's talking about that we did, we built these things ourselves. The system ain't
Right.
built. We created these peer groups and stuff because we understood that we only gonna understand each other. The world not gonna really understand us. We've been through
That's right.
something that everybody don't understand. Everybody don't even make it out of that place. And we
Right.
did. So just the fact that we alive and free, we made it up. It was the door of no return in Angola. But you go to that, bro. It wasn't. The war told us 85% of us would go die here. Then he come back the next year and said 95% of us go die
Yeah.
here. He's talking
Say,
to us.
bro,
When I got my rap sheet, every time I got my rap sheet, it said life without parole. It said no out date. So I had to wake up, 16 years old, I had to wake up thinking about it all the time. So when they said, look, we gonna let you out, but you gotta leave the state. I'm like, fuck, I'll go to Alaska, just let me out this motherfucker.
right.
So
That's right.
so coming out here to Texas with nothing, not knowing nobody, bro. And I had to be my own strength. I had to strive off the strength within me, you know. So that's another part of this prison, you know, situation, man. When you keep somebody incarcerated like that, and then you just send them out with nothing, especially to a whole new state where you don't know
Right.
nobody, and they gotta just keep thriving and keep their head up. And the recidivism rate is high, man. It's real. But I refuse to go backwards. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
But go ahead. I finished what you were saying, brother.
Yeah. See, with this peer support group, is us helping us. We could understand each other much better than other people could understand us. The trauma that we went through and that we experienced being in bondage for so many years in Angola, man, and living through that madness that we went through. It's we put this group together. Guy Tatum Thed, he's the facilitator,
Yeah,
and
in the wheelchair, huh?
yeah, the wheelchair. You know, he got stabbed in Angola, almost got killed. You know, Hoghead,
Yeah.
I think Joker the one pulled a dude off. He was taking a shower when the dude stabbed him, paralyzed him. So he in a wheelchair. You know, and Tatum did like 27 years in Angola. But yeah, that happened at Camp A in the unit up there, Dawn 1. In fact, the peer support group, we call it us helping us. You know, we could understand each other much better than what other people could understand. And it don't necessarily mean that we not normal. Yeah, we normal people, but we just been through some trauma, bro, that kind of like it have us. We not dysfunction psychologically, but we went through so much, and we think different now. We think different. We know how to communicate with one another much better than we communicate with other people on the outside. You know, because people on the outside don't really understand us the way we understand us. You know, if you understand what I'm saying, and that's what this group is about. We have district attorneys, we have judges, we got lawyers, we got politicians that comes to that group just to come hear our stories and to see, to try to understand who we are and why we think the way we think and why we do what we do, you know. And so,
I had a quick question for Isaac and E. I just want to know, what is it, if you can say it in a simple way for the people, what is it that drives a man to be moral or just without a reward? What is it? What is the motivation behind that?
For me, it's being able to wake up every day and look myself in the mirror, to know that I don't have no skeletons in my closet, to know that I am who I say I am. You know what I'm saying? That's the glorification of me. It ain't for nobody else. When people talk about, oh, because he don't snitch, he don't, no. It's because of the fact that I was put in a situation. Okay, the system put me in a situation, and they wanted to use the snitching or the ratting thing on me to break me or to dehumanize me or to degrade me, because they say a coward dies 1,000 deaths, but a soldier died but once. So I refuse to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just my principles and morals. It's a personal thing. So it ain't about bragging or boasting or acting like I'm better than anybody. Nah, it's just that I'm able to look in the mirror, and when I talk to you, I can look you in your eyes and look the world in the eyes and say, this is who I am, and be who I say I am. So that's what it is for me.
You know, that's perfectly said. You know, and you said everything that I would have said, because I feel the same way. And in fact, you know, lots of times, bro, we don't glorify prison. We don't glorify being in prison, you know, but we know what we went through and what we did, in how we did it. Now, as far as looking, what I don't want to bring up Gangsta name no more, but what happened is that you have to look over your shoulder, and he is a real man. All right. He's a real man. He the real deal. Just like real deal Holyfield, he the real deal. And I respect him. I got all the love and respect for him because of who he is. And not just because, and we like he said, we went through similar, the same thing, and I feel like, I don't glorify being in prison, but I made it. I made it, and I went in there a boy, a young man, and I came out a grown man. My mom told me when I got ready to go to prison, well, in fact, I got sentenced to life, and she come visit me in the county in the parish, in old parish, and she told me, she said, because I knew I was going to be on that bus, I was going to be leaving any day now, and she told me, she said, son, I born a boy, said, and I expect you to, whenever you come back home, I expect you to come home a man, just like leaving. And so I already, and it just was in me, not to be a snitch. I was willing to take the death sentence and die. I was willing to die, bro, before I tell on this guy, and said that and lie on him and said that he committed that murder. The people had already threatened me. They told me, said that if you don't do this here, you may get the electric chair, because they didn't have the legal injection at the time. They was putting you in a chair. They said, you will die. And I said, get out my face. So if he want to do it, let him do it. I'm not going to do it. So I was willing to sacrifice my life, bro, to keep from getting branded as a damn snitch, Yeah. And I wasn't going to let them put that label on me under no circumstances. Like I said, even if I would have known that Leroy did that, I wasn't raised that way. I come up hard. I come up out the projects, and that's what I live by. That's who I am. So whatever consequences that was going to take place, I was willing to suffer those consequences. And that's why I stood up for what I believed in. And I'm free now. I didn't die in prison. I'm free. And they said it's going to all come to the light. If you didn't do it, if you were innocent, it's going to come to the light. We don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to come to the light. Everything in the dark comes to the light eventually. And that's what happened in my situation. It came to light. And all the way up until it was time. And I still stand on that right now today. My son even asked me, my son said, Dad, if your life was to start over again and you knew what happened in this past life, would you do? Would things be different? Would you handle it different? And I told him no. Even though with the trauma and the shit that I went through, I told him no, I'll still handle it the same way I did back then.
And to add to that, bro, another thing is that when dudes snitching on each other and telling on each other, ratting on each other, whatever you want to call it, they doing it to the system, right? They informing the system, giving up information to a system that don't care about none of us.
Right.
They don't care about justice. They don't care about doing what's right for the victim's family. They don't care about none of that, because they'll let you lie rat. I call it lie rat. They'll let you lie rat on somebody that they know didn't commit this body, but they'll send them to prison. So they don't care either way it go. You see what I'm saying?
Obvious.
So it's not like, oh, well, you need to tell the people to do the right thing. No, it's not the right thing to tell those people, because those people don't care about us in no shape, form, or fashion.
Those people ain't doing the right thing either.
They're not doing the right thing.
They told me they know that I didn't do this. They told me, we know you didn't commit this murder.
But they rather sacrifice you though. Yeah. They sacrifice you though.
Yeah. Right. Just to clean the records up, clean the books up. Say, we got another nigga off the street, So they don't care nothing about me. They don't care nothing about Leroy Williams.
And it's interesting to me that, I'm sorry. It's interesting to me too. Also, when I look at each story and also yours, is that how willing you guys are willing to self-sacrifice yourselves. Right? You already have a system that's attempting to sacrifice you, and it's almost like it's not like you're complying with them, but you're allowing yourself to be sacrificed for a right principle, which is slightly I don't really understand it sometimes, but yeah, it's your ability to sacrifice yourself for a human being that you don't know is very interesting to me. It's almost like I was telling you before, it's like Christ-like, because that's what we're taught in Christianity is to lay down your life for your brother. That's the greatest deed you can do, right? And then it's like you're doing this as a teenager, and you're sticking to grown man morals that grown men aren't even sticking to. I just think it's really interesting. That's all.
Well, you know what? When I look at it and I listen and everything, and it makes me really understand why you call it solid stepper, E. Isaac, you are a solid stepper, man. You
Thank you.
know, I mean, you stand on something. You stand on principles, bro. You know what? And I'm gonna tell you something, and what I'm about to say might be kind of harsh, man. But everybody has a journey that they have to go through in life. And I hate to say the journey that you went through is the one that you went through, but somehow, some way, it was ordained for you because someone knew that you can handle it. You dig? And you ended up on this end and you're able to talk about it now. And then by you able to talk about it now, you're going to be able to set some minds free, man, before they even start. You dig? Before they even start. And you brothers, you and E, y'all telling y'all stories, man. You are setting people free, man. You're allowing these young brothers to hear these stories, man, to just straight get out of the street. You did, because there's nothing there for you. You can't win. You just said that the system said they know you didn't do it.
Right.
But unless you snitch on something that you did not see, so they actually want you to lie.
Right.
You
That's what he was
did.
just
They
saying.
wanted you to lie, but this is your government. This is who run us. I mean, I'm keeping it 100. You did. They run the government. The government runs the world, basically. You did, one way, fashion, or another. You
Right.
did, but yet they're not showing any principles whatsoever. No principles, none whatsoever. So what you all are doing right now is standing up against, man. And it's not something easy to do. But you're like, hey, I got through all those things that I got through because y'all went through the bloodiest prison and you made it out on the other side. But you made it out on the other side for this. This is what you did. You went through that journey because you was God knew. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there. God knew you can make it through. God knew, and that's heavy. But you
Yeah,
know
that's
what?
it, bro.
Sometimes He puts certain people through certain things because He know what's in them. You did. So
Yeah, I
that's
was
why He allowed you to go through it because He knew you was going to end up on the other side, so you can free others, man. And
And this
that's
is what I
what y'all
say.
doing.
And just think about it. I did 9,125 days. So just imagine if I'd have broke at 9,124.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I would have never made it to that 9,125 and been free
Right.
as a
That's
solid
right.
man. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And so,
Right.
so with these other dudes, when they break and start doing that, they don't know that, man. If they would have just stayed silent, you don't know what.
Right.
My brother used to tell me. He said, "Bro, you don't know what tomorrow." Because I was constantly going to the dungeon, constantly going to Camp J. You see what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so, and he was like, "Bro, you got to slow down. You got to chill." I said, "Bro, you got parole eligibility, bro. I don't. So I don't have to keep my record clean. I can get as many write-ups as I want to because I
Right.
don't have to. I don't have to go up on a parole board. When I go to court, I got to get this evidence that's going to exonerate me. And when I go to court, my prison record is not going to matter. They shouldn't have sent me here as a child
Mm.
anyway."
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that was my mentality. But you know what my big brother said? He said, "Bro, you don't know what the future holds, man." And look at me today. We changed. We got in that law library. I elevated my mind and helped promote and push and change laws, man. I
Yeah.
helped promote and push and change laws, bro. You know what I'm saying? That got me here today. You know what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
that was
So
all
when
that was preordained. It was preordained though.
yeah, But let me flip the script right quick. Because Chris want to ask you about your book, right? But before we get to the book, before we leave the prison scene, could you get him 2 quick good stories, bro, just for the people, brother? They like this prison stuff, huh, Jay? So give them 2 stories about Badita or Grady Bull, bro. Remember them?
Yeah, well, me and Grady Bull, we was at J. Grady Bull did most of his time on lockdown at J.
Yeah,
They wouldn't send him out. They wouldn't put him in general population because he would have got killed.
yeah,
They guys would have been racing to get to him to kill him.
yeah.
Because how he was living at J, how he was shitting people down.
Yeah, that means he throwing human waste on people.
Yeah, yeah. Guys, at camp, that's why they say Angola is a world of his own. When you hear stories like that, these guys was fighting with shit. I'm talking about literally human waste, because they couldn't get to you physically on extended lockdown. So when everybody get a chance to come out for like 45 minutes, you can walk the hall, or either you can go on the rec yard, but you got to be on the little bullpen with shackles and handcuffs on, to walk around the little rec yard. It's little, it ain't. It's about almost maybe 2 sides of a cell. How them little bullpens is at J. But anyway, Grady Bull. Now I'm gonna tell you about Lazarus, Lee Lang, even Big Duck. I always bring up Big Duck because that was the first murder I had seen when I got to Angola.
Well, you say Big Duck with he committed the first murder that you saw in Angola?
That was the first murder. I had just got there, and he killed Pouncer. He stabbed Pouncer through the chest in the kitchen while he was eating, and it wasn't really meant for Pouncer. Well, it was meant for Pouncer, but him and Farrah Phillip got into it, a little verbal thing in a cell block, but they couldn't get to each other, and until we go to the last meal, they call it kind of like a little privilege, letting us go eat in the cell. We was in A block, but they'll let us walk to the kitchen for the last meal for dinner. But for breakfast and lunch, we had to eat in the cell. They bring the food to us. But for the last meal, they'll let us walk to the kitchen. So that was like a little privilege that they had gave us, to walk to the kitchen. So when Big Duck and Farrah Phillip had those words in the cell, Big Duck told Farrah, when we walk to the kitchen, bring your knife with you. So Farrah said, okay, I have it with me. So that's when Booger Lee came to me and told me, he said, youngsters, he said, you got a knife, huh? He said, because you're going to the kitchen, it's going down. You need to have it with you, So we goes to the kitchen, Big Duck, everybody looking to see because they know it's finna go down. So Big Duck looking, Farrah Phillip don't show up, but his 2 hoes do. He had that whole Pouncer, and he had that other whole Wild Child. Them 2 hoes was sitting at the table, and Farris wasn't there. He didn't show up. So Duck got mad because Farris didn't show up. He went to the table, knife that long, stabbed Pouncer straight through the chest. The knife was so long it almost came out his back. And when he pulled it out, he was dead before he hit the floor. And he went at Wild Child, but Wild Child broke out running. And so that was like one of the first murders that I seen happen with Duck, which Duck had already killed a couple of more people before I got there, So I had already knew about Duck.
And remember what I was telling y'all about? You had dudes that they put me around as a kid that they murdered people to get to prison, and then they committed multiple more murders while they was in prison.
While he's in there,
that's one of them. Big Duck. Didn't he make it home?
Yeah, he stayed about 5 minutes from me.
They round the corner.
In fact,
right around the corner, bro.
What he do? He looks out the window, and he sees somebody pass, and he shut the curtain. So I went and talked to him. I said, Duck, you can't do that. You're making people paranoid when you do that. They see you looking out the window, and when they look back, you pull the curtain back. But that he was gone 42 years, and he caught a few bodies while he was there. But he was fortunate to make it home because he had a clean record for almost 30 years. So he got parole and made it out. Now the list goes on and on, bro. I'm talking about the podcast is not actually long enough to hear about all these murders because I done seen so many. I done seen so many, bro.
We'll probably have to call you back, bro. We'll probably have to call you back and chop it up, bro.
I had one question before y'all jump on the book. What do y'all do to deal with PSTD?
Oh man.
Well, you know what I do? I go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the gym. I work out. I work out real hard. You'll think I work out before them kids get there because I train these kids and stuff, and I got a couple of professionals that I train. But I'll get there a couple of hours early so I can get my own personal workout in. And I'll work myself out, brother. I'm exhausted. And just and that helps me to compose myself psychologically. It helps me to compose myself, and it keeps me in line. It keeps me in line. It keeps me in check. Because sometimes I go to thinking kind of like off the table, and I don't want to think like that. I don't want to think like that. I don't want to be that kind of person no more. And I'm just striving for greatness to be the best I can be now. Since I have my freedom, I'm enjoying my freedom. And I want to stay free. I want to stay. My kids, they done got older now, all of them, and but I want to enjoy the rest of my life around them. And that's what I do. I go to the gym and I exhaust myself and just work out hard. Then I start training these kids and helping them.
Okay, yeah, I think I pronounced it wrong. I mean, what is it? Post-traumatic syndrome.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
So I deal with when I was in prison. I did like now, just worked out, and that helps burn off, a lot of that stress. But since I've been here, going through so much different things, stuff like that, and it's like your mind has the propensity to correct itself. Sometimes it blocks out that trauma. You want to just rest and relax, So right. I deal with do a lot of reading, and I do a lot of trying to figure out, this technology and how to get my life back on track. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that takes up so much of my time and energy. Sometimes it causes more stress than anything when you're trying to really figure out, man, what am I going to do with my life, man? How am I going to really, really get established? How am I going to really, really get my life on track, man? So I just spend so much time focusing on that, trying to actually really build my foundation, because it's like the things that I had going for me, then as soon as I come home, the pandemic hit, and I'm like, damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like they said they wasn't gonna let me out till hell freeze over. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not thinking it's the end of the world. So I never took financial literacy classes. I took it right before I left prison when they said I would go home. So I tried to take some of the financial classes, but the money that I had coming to, I didn't know what to do, then I'm thinking we about to die tomorrow. So I'm like, man, I'm just, and I lost out on a lot of money. So rebuilding and coming back to get to, what I'm saying? Now it's like, okay, well, the earth's still here. We still here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now I wish I still had some of that money that I blew. You know what I mean? And so now it's like, okay, just and I'm in a whole new state. You know what I'm saying? Because they kicked me out of my state. Like if I was in my state, I'd be right there with eyes at the gym, at the peer council meet. Like I have everything connected. So what I'm trying to do now is establish exactly what we got established out there in Louisiana. I'm trying to establish it out here for these dudes in Texas, bro, because they got a lot of solid dudes in Texas that's going through the same stuff that we going through in Louisiana, but they don't have that right support system, man. So I could be the one that could establish that, I even talked to Knapper about we extended one of his gyms out here, you know what I'm saying? Let them start spreading it, you know what I mean? And I run one of the gyms out here, you know what I'm saying? And we do like competitions and do big events and stuff like that, man. That could really and that's what really helps my PTSD, just by giving back, bro. Trying to show these kids, bro, that gangster shit, all that bullshit, bro, that ain't what's happening. You know what I mean? Right. And telling them the embarrassing side of crime and punishment, man. When we tell them about the things that we had to do, man. When you could be in the microwave heating your food up, and they say count time. Now you got to go sit on. If you're a grown man, you got to go sit on your bunk. You know what I'm saying? Your food getting cold in the microwave or it's burning up in the microwave, one of the two. You know what I'm saying? So you got to sit on your bunk while they count you, and you just got to sit there. You know what I'm saying? A grown ass man. It's like right now we sitting there as men. Somebody comes to blow the whistle, say, sit down, stop what you're doing, get on that bed. Your time just evolving around another person telling you what to do all day. You know what I'm saying? So the rappers don't talk about that part of prison. They only talk about the fights they had or the juggers or whatever. They don't talk about that embarrassing side, that dehumanizing side, that degrading side. And so since I'm solid enough to speak on that because I don't have no skeletons in my clock, I can speak on that. That's why I do it. I tell the kids the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's therapeutic for me, talking about how how they killed one of my brothers and my other brother died of that, and for me to still have my sanity. So when I talk about this stuff and to these kids, and I see some of them how damn, they digesting what I'm saying. They really listening. You know what I'm saying? So that's what keeps me motivated, and that's what keeps my PTSD in check.
And I just had a quick question too. Like, there's such few examples of manhood in our culture. Do you have any advice for the men that are like that? Sometimes men feel like they're breaking down, they can't keep their job, or they can't stay in the house with their family, or what have you. I'm wondering also, do you believe that you two are the way you are because you were born like that, or you like challenges or something? Have you always liked the challenge? You were a boxer, so I'm trying to think of that. You like a challenge, right?
I like a challenge, but you don't want to say born like that, but brought up like that, in opposed to being born like that. It's like coming up, like they say, you're a product of your environment, and you watching a lot of things that go on, that take place, and eventually, if you can say not strong enough or strong enough to get involved yourself with that environment and started playing your part and playing your role in that environment. I kind of encourage guys, to just go on, be who you are, and just try to make the best of who you are, instead of trying to portray or be somebody that you're not. Be the person you are, and just live and just try and be the best or whatever you are or whatever you do.
Yeah, and so like to echo what he just said, I don't think it's necessarily born that way, because I know a dude that was a coward. He used to be scary in the parish, and but when he got to Angola and he learned he had a one hit a quitter, you know what I'm saying? He ain't no coward no more. You know what I'm saying? So it just took certain life situations to wake him up, to make him realize that, bro, this dude bleed just like you. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody better than you. You know what I'm saying? Let him be. You know what I mean? And so I think it's just, also what's in you will come out you, man, and the way you was raised, the way you was brought up. Because I come up with listening to, like, my mom had me listening to Malcolm X coming up. You know what I'm saying? She had me sit on the bed while she playing Malcolm X tapes and stuff like that. So when I got to prison, that was in me. So quite naturally, when I'm in the field and I'm seeing it's 1,000 degrees out here, devil hot. I call it devil hot. You know what I'm saying? And the horse falling out, or the horse throwing a free man off him, and he running back to the bone. The horse got enough sense to go back inside. You think I'm about to be out here and I'm a human being?
Can I say something right quick about that?
Man, yeah.
And not to cut you off.
Go ahead, bro.
The only time it would be like 115 degrees in Angola. We call it the desert. We would be out there in 115 degrees, and the only way we can come in, a horse will have to pass out. If the horse don't pass out, we're not allowed to go in.
That's
so
crazy,
once that horse start forming by the mouth, everybody just waiting. We looking at him, so he's finna go. And if the horse buckle and the horse fall out, then they're gonna headland. They call it the headland. They sit bringing us in.
So the animal health was more than yours.
Yes.
They care more about those animals.
Yeah. And if they don't want to lose no animal, they don't care about losing us.
They don't care about. They can replace us.
Right.
They can get somebody else in that bed.
Yeah.
Right. And tell them about, if you eat one of them strawberries, they call that property destruction. You go into the dungeon.
Yeah, that's right. You go in the dungeon.
Going to the
Yeah,
dungeon, proper destruction.
and I mean, they got acres and acres and acres of this stuff, bro.
18,000 acres.
Yeah, 18,000 acres, bro. And you know, you grab one up, you go into the dungeon. So
Yeah.
you know, it was just the fear is cruel and unusual punishment. They had guys that would take a battery, you know, like a D battery that you put in a radio or something. They would take that battery and cut it open and take the acid out of the battery and pour it on their feet, on the top part of their feet, in a hole that big, or go straight through their feet to get a duty status to
Just
keep
not
from
going.
going in the field.
Wow.
Yeah, they
They'll
will
pour
burn a
acid
hole in
on
their
their
feet
foot,
that
or
big.
they'll drop the weights. Remember, dudes,
Yeah,
they'll go on iron pile and
they'll
drop
go
the
to
weight on
iron
their foot.
power, or they'll get somebody else to do it. Sometimes they'll pay. I done seen guys pay to get their finger chopped off, to get it chopped off, to get a duty status.
Just
They'll
to get
pay
out
2,
that
3
field,
cartons of
bro.
cigarettes. Yeah, pay 2, 3 cartons of cigarettes. I'll give you 2 cartons, bro. Take this finger off. You know, put a towel in his mouth, bite on that towel, turn his head, set his finger right there on the table. Dude, just chop it off. You know, just to get a duty status to
Just to
keep
get
from
a
going
duty,
in the field.
keep them going in that
You
field.
still
Man.
gonna work. You just ain't going in the field. You're gonna have light duty. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna work around the compound.
Now,
So,
see, this was my strategy. This was my strategy. When I go out there and they got us trying to do something that, or it's just too hot, all that, man, call a truck. I'm going to the
right,
dungeon.
call that truck.
I'm riding out.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna try to kick off a buck. They gonna say, I'm gonna tell the dude, hey man, woo. That's they cuffing me up, throwing me in the back of the truck. You throw my ass in the back of the truck. You go to the dungeon. So the dungeon was like the modern day slave lashes on your back.
Right.
You know, back in slavery days, when you didn't pick the cotton right or pick the crop right, they whipped you with lashes. So in Angola, in the modern day slave plantation, the lashes on your back was days on isolate in a dungeon, a Camp J. You know.
Does this? I don't understand. Does this make you angry looking back at it, or does this make you negative? I don't understand how you're able to stay so positive. I really don't.
Yeah, because we home now. You know, we trying to make things better. We trying to get past a lot of stuff, which we'll never forget it because it's sunk in our brain. It's something that happened to us. If something happened to you, you don't forget it. You know, no matter what, you're not gonna forget it. Even though you may try to get past it, let it go, but it's gonna still be in the back of your head. You know, and that's what a trauma comes in that we speaks about, the things that we went through, how they had us in bondage, how they had us around all these killers, you know, and we became a killer, you know, by being around those killers. We became we was like Romans, you know. We became a part of that, you know. We became a Roman because we was in Rome, you know. We around these things, and some people, the ones who didn't become that, they became the opposite. You know, so you're gonna either become a straight killer or you're gonna become somebody else. You know, you're gonna become a weak individual. You know, so you're gonna pick a side. I'm gonna be on the strong side or I'm gonna be on the weak side.
You a grown man in prison, but somebody else in prison is owning you as their property.
Right. So that's you know, that's just you know.
But so tell them about your book and in your gym, man. Tell everybody what you're doing today.
Well, I got with the Dr. Amy Banks, the lady who I was speaking about earlier that wrote the book. I was accused of killing her father, which was a doctor, Dr. Ronald Banks. And that's a white family from Maine. In fact, Maine still is 98% white. You know, in fact, Amy Banks and them, they'd never met a black person until they was in college.
Wow.
Yeah. So that kind of like give you a picture of Amy and them and how they are. But they're so nice. They real nice people. Amy came to my house. I'm accused of killing her father. I'm a black man. She a white girl, a doctor, came to my house down in New Orleans, slept in my bedroom, in my bed. Me and my wife slept in the other room and gave her and her sister Nancy, Dr. Nancy, our room. They slept there for 6 days in my house, and I was accused of killing their father. I went to Maine.
That's powerful, huh, bro?
Yeah,
It is.
They sent for me to go to Maine. I went to Maine. Me and my wife, we stayed at Amy's house for 6 days. We slept in their room for 6 days, and we got a chance to go meet a lot of people because their father was very popular. The governor and everybody, their father was a popular man in Maine. And so all these people, when they found out, Amy had already put word out that I was coming to Maine. The guy that was accused of killing her father was coming. And so it was like, man, so many people. It was like a parade. And all of them want my autograph. They embraced me with open arms, Yeah. And it was unheard. It's still unheard of.
Surreal.
Yeah, it's still unheard of. And that's what makes it so unique with this true story, because they accept me as family. And now we have this close relationship. We constantly, in fact, I just sent her a text this morning, she had a knee replacement, asking about her knee and everything. I went out there when she went to go get the knee replacement just to help her get around. I flew out there and stayed out there for 5 days with her to help her get around, So
that's powerful, bro.
So the book is called Fighting Time.
Fighting
It's
Time.
in all the stores. Yes, it's called Fighting Time. It's in all the stores. It's in Barnes and Nobles, all the bookstores, and you can go on Amazon, all these different networks. Book networks. You can go on these websites and you can order the book. It's called, like I said, Fighting Time. Isaac Knapper and Dr. Amy Banks.
You got a copy near you?
No, I don't.
Okay,
You got what publishing company you dealing with?
Regal House. Same. They also doing a documentary.
Okay.
So the documentary is still in process as well. And after the documentary, they talking about a possible movie.
Movie and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's
So what if you had to say, or why would you suggest someone read this book or purchase the book?
Because what I just said, you don't hear stories like this, especially true stories. You may hear fiction stories like this, but this is a true story. This is something that actually happened, that actually something that could have destroyed me completely and could have destroyed Amy's side of the family completely. But we came together, and we kind of like living off each other's strength. And we help each other. So I think the book is a very positive book to read, to show people that just because I'm black and because you white don't mean that we got to stay apart and stay away from each other and not get along. I think it don't matter who you are or what race you are or what religion you are. We still human beings at the end of the day. We still humans. They bleed just like I bleed. So come together and show that this could be a better world than what it is. So I think it's a real good book. It's a positive book. It's got stuff in there that would make you think real hard. Things that Amy's saying in the book. It's got a lot of things that I'm saying in the book that I'm speaking about in true life stories, things that actually happened in my life while I was away, incarcerated for a crime I didn't commit. Things that happened in her family's life that occurred, that they still dealing with, and you're gonna forever deal with. Like I said, you won't forget it. It's gonna always be there. You just gotta try to get past it, try to deal with it the best you can, and don't let it deal with you. Because if you let it, like you said, you're looking at it and saying you don't see the anger and all that because of the things we went through. We're supposed to be mad and angry with the world. You don't have to necessarily be mad because you only hurting yourself. Yeah, you're only hurting yourself. You're not hurting nobody else by being angry. You're hurting yourself by being angry.
That person you mad at and angry at, they over there enjoying their life. They ain't even thinking about you.
That's right.
Right, real, bro.
It's an old statement I used to hear. It said resentment is like pissing on yourself. It's on you.
Yeah.
So tell them about any other projects you got, man, that you're doing with the gym or anything else you want to let the people know you're doing, man.
Yeah, I other than me traveling from state to state, we've been still doing a lot of speaking upon the book, and I have this gym. I'm training little kids, that's my way of giving back, pulling them off the street, especially kids that's considered trouble kids, because that's what I was considered, a trouble kid. So I'm trying to help them because I don't want them to make the mistake I made. So I'm trying to get them to pull them in and teach discipline, especially respect, because the level of respect down here, and I think it's everywhere, not just in New Orleans, but I mean, I'm here in New Orleans watching it and seeing it, and the respect level is at zero, man. They don't respect their elders. They don't respect nobody. They're doing all this carjacking, unnecessarily killing. They snatched this woman and her arm got caught in a seatbelt and snatched her whole arm off, and so they doing these things.
Her mama called me, the little girl that got out the car.
Yeah,
she still got charged with it. Her mama called me, man. I made a few phone calls for her, and the response back was it's too political, bro. Nobody want to touch it, man.
Everybody is carrying a weapon. Everybody, a weapon is like an ID card now, And I walked in the gas station the other day to go get a bottle of water out of the gas station, and they had a police officer standing in the gas station with his uniform on. He was buying something himself, and while we in the gas station, they had two youngsters got out of a car. They came in the gas station with guns in their hand. They wasn't coming in there to buy nothing. They was looking for somebody. They didn't pay the police no mind at all. And the police he just turned his head like he didn't even see it.
Like he didn't even see it.
Yeah, he just turned, they had the guns in their hand. They walked all through the aisles and they didn't see who they was looking for. They walked straight back out and got in the car. And I looked at the police. The police looked at me and just shook his head. Didn't say nothing, didn't tell him nothing.
Bold, bro. How bold was that, bro?
Yeah. And I said, man, when I seen that, I said, oh man.
Yeah, man, but he knew that if they was bold enough to do that, they were bold enough to put him down.
Yeah. He better not say nothing.
Yeah, these police, they're not gonna put their life on the line.
That's not their job, they say.
Right. Yeah. You're right. That's not their job. It's just like in Angola with the killings and stuff. Their job is not to stop you. Their job is, I'm gonna say this right quick. I watched Shorty Boy, Darryl Summers. He stabbed he stabbed this dude, because he stabbed the dude in the back of the neck and it came out the front of his throat. Pulled the knife out. When the guy fell, he got on top of him, stabbed all his eyes out his head. The police officer, the free man, he walked in there and he was just looking. So Darryl looked up at him. He told Darryl, I'm not going to stop you. Just continue doing what you're doing. I'm just here to be a witness. He said, when you finish, just come with me. Darryl said, I'm not finished. Darryl hit him about 30 more times, and which dude, he had been dead. But Darryl just, I guess he just got caught up in it. He was in that zone, And he hit him about 30 more times. When he got up, he got ready to reach the knife to the free man. Free man said, oh, no, I'm not allowed to touch your knife. Just come on with me. When we get to the dungeon, then you can give it to me. Then you have to walk with it in your hand. Yeah. Yep. So and that's
like put their life on the line. That's like when Lil Andre, when he killed the homosexual Virginia Slim back there at Camp D in the dome. He did it with a brick. He took the brick, and when he hit him in he was asleep. Virginia Slim was asleep. He hit him with that brick, and when he hit him, when his skull crushed, Andre just blanked out. He just kept hitting him, kept hitting him. And the free man said, he just standing there. He said, I'm just here to witness, bro. He said, but why you keep hitting him? Just please stop hitting him, though. Why you gotta keep? But he had zoned out, and he just kept hitting, smashed his whole face in. So I guess it's something once they once they do that, something clicks in you.
I think that's for all the times they wanted to do something and didn't get a chance to do it, man. And
you think so?
Just letting it go now.
Just letting it go. Now it's
coming
done.
out. Yeah, it's just coming out.
Yeah. And then, but those, you got to realize something too, though. That the person that's being done to, they did something very, very disrespectful.
Right.
Very disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Towards a person's manhood, is that type of disrespect. You know. But yeah, man, if y'all got any more questions for now? I know we gotta give him back for a part 2, man.
We gotta get a part 2, man.
Yeah, man, this was deep, bro. I think the people go really love to hear this one, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
I just had a quick...
they're hearing the real thing about Angola. I don't like the farm. When somebody asked me about the farm, see, I seen the documentary that they did on the farm. And I watched it too. And I don't like it because they didn't talk to real people like me, Solid E. You know, they didn't talk to who was gonna really tell them how Angola really is. They talked to those guys that worked for the wars.
And some of the dudes had just come to the prison. Remember, so they didn't know nothing about Angola.
That farm thing ain't telling you like it really is because they didn't interview the right people.
The only thing good about it was Comanche case because it got to really shine a light on the system, how crooked that system was, you know. But everything else, they wasn't gonna let. See, they didn't let me on up because I was in there when he came and filmed Comanche. I'm the one that sit there to help him get the stamp and stuff and get it going like that. We didn't know that was going to happen. We were just trying to get Comanche case publicized. And when they came to film, like I said, they don't let anybody talk to them cameras, man, because they know that we go expose, we go tell them, we go talk about what we doing. You know what I'm saying?
Comanche, was that the one that came in there with the papers stating?
My dog.
Hey, how
you doing?
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
All right.
Was he the one that came in there with the papers where the doctor said that he didn't do what he couldn't have done what he?
Yeah, because the girl hymen was still intact, so the doctor he couldn't even complete his examination.
Right.
And she was talking about all blacks look alike and all this. So I'm about to matter of fact, his agent just hit me up a little while ago. I'm interview him probably tomorrow or the day or sometime very, very soon. Because we're trying to help him get signatures because he kind of like in the same situation with Knapp. They don't want to pay him no money for 44 years of wrongful incarceration. They think that they ain't got to pay that man something. You know, no amount of money could give back the 44 years.
That doesn't even make no sense.
It don't. Yeah. That's evil.
Yeah. So, but anyway, man, much love and respect, Isaac, bro. Man, I'm gonna let you know when we go put this out, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's been a pleasure. Been a blessing to have you on the show, man. So y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe. What they call that? What they call that? Like, subscribe, share all that, man.
You said it all right there.
Donate. We about to get this platform popping, man. This is the Solid Steppers podcast, bro. From the solid point of view, man. That's what we give y'all here. We give y'all the solid. Y'all heard all their point of views and their point of view. You come here to get that solid point of view, man. We speak straight from the heart, from experience, man. So, man, I appreciate everybody who watching, who paying attention. Appreciate everybody who support, man. Solid Steppers United, baby. Salute.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Much love, everybody. Appreciate y'all, man.
All right.
Much love and respect.
It was definitely a pleasure.
Oh, yeah.